And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire, where we have two decisions to deal with. The decisions are, how do we want to approach research versus discovery on the Air Force Council? That's about right. Zone decisions. They request a donation. I have money. Don't necessarily want to piss off the cult, so I'll go ahead and give them some money. Strategic cards. We did get a gift card, so let's contemplate giving a gift. Yeah, let's attempt the gift.
Affirmative.
And it was a failure. They denied the gift. Okay. Well, let's start contemplating our moves for the turn. We got some exposed mountains here that we can just sort of walk into, so let's go ahead and walk into them. It'll be a nice defensive position for later. We can see the enemy is deploying here with tanks. That may be a problem because we only have light infantry opposite of them right now. Let's move these motorized down. They're now ready to rested and recovered and ready to start doing some action again. Instead of engaging them in attacking the city, I may have to deploy them as a response to those tanks if they do try to push the light infantry in the circumstances we're in find ourselves in right now. And the tanks here are now in position to carry out their offensive. So let's attack. We're a little overstacked, probably, on the frontage. So we're probably going to take some pretty heavy damage going in, but we have a lot of firepower here, and I expect that we will be able to take the heads off of them. Or not. Maybe the motorized... Okay, so we did take it. The motorized will be able to move into the hex. The tanks are exhausted and will need another turn before they can move up. One thing I will do is I know there is going to be... I'm going to put a rail line here at some point. So let's pay the metal cost to deploy the rail line. The rail line, as a side effect of how rail lines work, until we put a railhead in at the end of it, won't be particularly efficient. But right now we don't necessarily need to be efficient. What we needed to do is be providing ammunition to our motorized units that just carried out a successful attack. Then we have this little bit in the middle here. Basically just grabbing free territory with the infantry. These guys will probably start pulling out. I'll have to figure out where all the 7th Infantry guys went. Or if we're missing any of the 7th Infantry guys. So I can get them ready to redeployment to an actual front. I think these are the 2nd Infantry. Yeah, you're part of the 2nd Infantry. You're 7th. Okay, so you're the only guy out of the 2nd Infantry that's here. I think this is the 2nd Infantry over here. And second. 6th. You're the 6th. Okay, let's try to get Iwaku over the 6th. Let's try to get our units together. Apparently we have logistics issues here. Was this... Yeah, we had workers not want to hire up. And that's causing opinion decrease here. How is the construction going? Rad Treatment 3 is done. So in 2 turns, we'll have Rad Cleansing. The Rad Cleansing should help with... Any danger... Don't know why the danger is high. We must have some hostiles near an asset somewhere. Yeah, and we got radiation hazard exposure, which is something we're working on. That's radiation hazard in the capital. Apparently the workers have been improved because of our improved assets to level 2. Yeah, so we're going to want that cleansing done at some point. We are working to get it better. But once again, we're going to have to come in here, we're going to have to call up, do zone orders. We're going to have to give a wage increase to the workers.
Copy that.
To keep them happy. Because we need the workers to be happy to solve the problems that's making the workers unhappy. Feeling arena and feeling brothels. We may end up using some of those in a moment. We'll see. Oh yeah, here is probably a place where we can maybe start contemplating doing a wage down. Because we have opinion 10. Well, at the same time, we still also have a worker shortage here, so let's not contemplate that too hard until we deal with the worker problem. Oh, and it's a mutual worker problem. We just have a shortage of workers. Because even the civilian sector is having worker problems. Even the civilian sector is having worker problems. This zone is the one I'm probably trying to increase quickest, because the civilians need workers, so let's send as population the 800 colonists. That'll help a little bit. And yeah, they're suffering worker problems as well. Ugh. Worker problems, worker problems, worker problems everywhere. This is kind of what I'm getting at with, we're probably not, with the militia over here, we're not going to fight Braunburn. We're just going to walk past them, because there just isn't enough Braunburn here to stop us from going where we want to, which is their territory. So we'll wait until they start suffering supply issues, well, readiness issues due to supplies, before we actually start trying to fight them. Yeah, building roads like this through the mountains is expensive, but we're pretty much punched out the other side, so it's gonna get a little bit better. And yeah, more Braunburn units. They're just by the bulk of the number of militia units we have that are just getting encircled and are gonna have a bad day. I'd like to start recreating that on the Western Front again, but that would require us getting more forces, which we don't necessarily have at the moment. What I will do, now that I'm thinking about it, is we have the sort of the complication of, do I use my troops as troops, or do I throw them back into the population for the capital? Capital is struggling both in workers, both private and public, I think. Or maybe it's one of the few places that isn't having a public problem. Yeah, it might be one of the few places that isn't having a public problem. But yeah, let's think about colonization. Recruits only become population. So how many do I want in reserve? I want like 10,000 reserves. So we are still gonna return a bunch of recruits to the capital, because this will help drive down wages in the capital by putting a bunch of people there. We'll have a little bit of problem because we don't necessarily have the radiation cleansing or whatever to keep them super happy there, but that shouldn't take too long to fix. We move these guys. Let's actually go to strategic move. Let's get these guys all the way back to the capital, so I can stop messing with them. Yeah, I'm gonna try to hand this area that we have. We'll try to get the second infantry out, second grenadier out of the spot where I'm gonna have the 7th grenadier be. These are the 7th grenadier. They'll come back up as soon as I finish taking these two next to this. This will start moving next turn. This one will possibly start moving next turn. We'll see. And we did the tank drive. We got one more tank drive to go, but that's got to be next turn. Hopefully we get logistics. Hopefully these tanks don't go rolling forward too much. Hopefully the entrenched infantry here will hold. And again, these are maybe not the best units. I've got light infantry down here. I was in the process before we got nuked of upgrading them to grenadiers, but I didn't get upgraded in the end. And that's where all the problems are coming from. Well, we're getting rad treatment 3. And to be fair, these getting completed. In fact, we're getting rad treatment 3 pretty much regardless next turn. Have we queued up cleansing? We did queue up cleansing, okay. Let's see where it is, but we presumably queued it up. Or did I just miss it? Maybe under industry. There it is.
Order acknowledged.
Queue that up. I think we can get away with just cleansing 1. If we got enough of the treatment set up. And I might finish rad 2. Might be a bit greedy here and start rad cleansing as well.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
Because with rad cleansing, we should hopefully start dealing with the radiation in the capitals, or in the main zones, and that should hopefully let them bounce back a little bit faster. Then political power. Let's start contemplating spending political power. So here we are just missing education. Do we have any education cards that we can play? I feel like Brothel and Arena are both going to be entertainment. No zoo. We don't have a education card right now. On scrapping, we don't have enough yet. We can delete a bunch of major cards again. Or minor cards again, so we'll delete a bunch of minor cards. Not that this is necessarily going to give us enough, but it's a step in the right direction. Oh, one thing we can check up on is, do we still have militancy in the capital? We do. No, that's danger. We don't have militancy. Guess the militia house wasn't enough? Militia house. Or maybe it wasn't working yet. Maybe it didn't introduce any product. We'll give another turn, then we'll check back in. Sort of facilitate that along, let's give some to the militia.
Affirmative.
It's on the zone. Let's Attack it again. There we go. Ah, culture score is reducing it by 6, supposedly. Ouch. But that building's supposed to be upping it by 4. So yeah, it probably just didn't kick in next turn. We need to wait one more turn. And probably play more militia houses at some point as well. Actually want it to be a thing. What I am going to do is, for the tank commander... Light Armor Brigade, yes. You are going to get some armor into Dopinator. Make you a little bit better as a combat unit. Let's actually upgrade the tanks. So... Light Armor Brigade. I'm going to give you anti-lift gear. Anti-grav lift gear. Anti-grav lift gear. I'll give each of you... Well, each of the first 3 some wasps. And some warrior androids. And we have third an assassin. We'll give them all a political aid truck. And this should make them perform a little bit better in the coming battle, because we're going to be pushing them into a city, which isn't necessarily the ideal place for tanks to go. But I do want that city sooner rather than later. Defensive power. Morale. Readiness. We'll play some Mystic Priests. We'll play these on the 4th and the 5th, because I didn't get anything yet
Copy that.
to improve their readiness. So they won't be quite as effective as the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, but they'll have some moral support. Some morale bonuses. We have some losses to replace before we cycle the turn. And we did lose an armor, so the 1st will actually be getting the first of the Crusader 4s. The newfangled fuel-efficient tanks. And everything else looks good. Really, fighter bombs didn't get deployed, but that'll be fine. And we still have a little bit more political power than I can spend. Let's check the mines before I forget and have the mine run empty again, or mostly empty. In fact, we have 2 empty mines, so I should play peripheral mining on both Belrod and Alt Slits. So, peripheral mining on Belrod.
Aye, aye, sir.
And peripheral mining I don't have to play, because I need 3 more political power. So that's a good place to end the turn, so let's cycle that turn. Get some political power back in. And see how the enemy responds to multiple of their units being encircled and our motorized armored drive towards that city. So we're basically going to see their response pretty early in the turn order, because they're actually at the front of the turn order. So they attempt to break out maneuver. They successfully break out. Our militia isn't all that good at fighting them, as you can see, as we're losing, like... In a single fight, we lose, like, 600 militia, but... It is better for the militia to fight them on the defensive than to attempt to attack them. Okay, so it's looking like it's mostly the light infantry being harassed. Which is expected. I suspect. It's the weakest part of our line, so it's where it's getting attacked. I'm actually surprised there's less showing around the city, which probably means we're in a decent position to attempt to break into the city this turn. Thanks, we'll use a little bit of action points, closing the gap between them and the city. And to be fair, a frontal assault on a city with one front with armored vehicles in tow is probably not the best, but the city is a big prize, and trying to encircle it, I think, is, in this moment, probably not the best plan. Probably trying to take it on the march while giving the enemy the ability to retreat out of the city is the way to do it. Though, failing that, I probably will need to bring up more brigades. We're on the blackmailer's turn, which probably we won't see very much of, because we're not really doing anything involving them. And they're blackmailing us, not being at war with us. Most of their frontage is not on our front. The territories are mostly aliens at this point. I say aliens, we're technically the aliens to them, but... well, the aliens to the planet, but the local Xeno wildlife. And then it's our turn. We killed 500 infantry, 10 tanks, lost 2,600 infantry. Most of this is militia, if memory serves, from what we were seeing on the front line. Okay, it looks like the capital has everyone working, which is good to see. We're probably going to slow down on expanding the capital just because we've got everything so heavily built up in the capital at this point that it's starting to become a liability having so much in the capital. Anti-rad cleansing should finish next turn. Rad treatment 3 is done. Anti-rad treatment 3 will be done in a couple turns. Happiness in the capital is still being a problem. That's a source of unhappiness that I wasn't expecting. We're having payment issues because wages are so high. Well, let's temporarily sell off a bunch of rare earth metals so we have money to pay people. Needless to say, trying to lower their wages right now is a bad idea. Though that would be a way to long-term solve the happiness problem. Let's place some worker villages in the capital.
Copy that.
Okay, that'll buy us a little bit more time before they get too grumpy. We're not going to allow private armies. Lose autocracy, gain mind. Do you want commerce meritocracy or mind here? Probably commerce meritocracy. National budget, I'm not going to touch right now. Tier Council, you're fine the way you are. We don't really mess with taxation very much. It tends to bite me if I do. Let's develop a heavy tank. We can put a pretty big... Actually, do I want beam gun on here? Maybe. Beam gun would be expensive because it's high tech, but this is our heavy tank. It's going to be expensive one way or the other. So let's put a beam gun on it. And then polymer armor for the fuel efficiency. It only being... well, actually, we're also running high tech, so we run this full high tech. Let's run full liquid armor here. And we'll do triple electric engine. We have an empty mine here, so expand the empty mine. Human Predators offering ammunition? Sure, we'll buy that off of them. I like mind, not enforcement, so we'll take that option. Anyway, so it looks like they pretty much just bought their way or broke their way out of the only circle once we put them in. We found more enemy. Who would have guessed there'd be more enemy in the deserts? But as a general rule, they were withdrawing because we're simply encircling them with raw numbers. So really fighting their way out and not necessarily fighting their way to harm our troops. We might be able to merge those guys. Merge them. No. No. Sadly. Really, as far as being on our side of the enemy, we only need one guy on our side to keep him from running towards us. And they're unlikely to just run towards us, I think. That looks about right there. And these guys south, because the south portion of the line is probably getting hammered more over here than the north. Yeah, the roads look fine there. The roads, a little bit of upgrade here. And yeah, if we hold that bit of road, this guy up here will actually be pretty happy supply-wise. So the east is going well, although we're taking large quantities of casualties over there. It's going well given the state of the enemy, comparative state of the enemy. Another thing I might do is, I think those are Grenadier forces, so it might be worth trying to pull those forces out of the combat line to do the reinforcing west. Tanks ready. They're as ready as they're going to be, so in you go. Okay, they're not all willing to go in on the attack, and this will be a hard attack. They're pretty numerous here.
Negative to breach.
Negative to breach. We did not take the hex. Enemy did take decent losses. 7 subunits to 11, so I took more on the attack. Let's see if we can actually get all our replenishment in this turn. Answer will probably be no, but we'll see. We lost a truck. Well, lost a unit of trucks. The light armor had never arrived, so the best of the armor that was inbound didn't actually arrive. We lost some buggies. Again, we'll do fuel efficient buggies as replacements. And yeah, we're vaguely having logistics problems. That's where our problems are coming in here. Upgrade the road. Upgrade, and we'll expand the rail. The rail is 1 hex away from its objective, where I'd like to put a rail hub here in the city. And we do sort of have a protrusion here where our units are, but that's arguably somewhat a safe protrusion at the moment. I'm more worried about the armored units here. That did force one of our units back, so it is time for this motorized unit to get up to the front if possible. One thing I could do to maybe try to pull some attention off of the front is instead of having the motorized come in to help, try to push the motorized south here. To try to threaten the supply lines to the city. There's a possibility I could maybe just cross this gully here. It's about 5 wide, which is basically the entire motorized unit. But that would cut off supply to the city and start to undermine their ability to defend it from frontal assault. Right, so that's basically our movement of units. We still have the 2 weak units that or 2 weak brigades that I'm not super happy about, but we're fine otherwise. I don't like that you're sitting at exactly 50 opinion. I think that's mainly due to shortage of civilian assets, or shortage of civilians. Yeah, the income's a bit high, so let's... we'll go into zone orders. We'll give them a slight wage increase, wage bump.
Aye, aye, sir.
Which is going to make our money problems worse, but this is the solution until we have enough workers both civilian and both public and private to work everything. Got a bit of a worker shortage.
Order acknowledged.
So here it's mainly a civilian worker shortage because we managed to keep them mostly in government jobs. Here it's mostly it's both a civilian and government shortage because the civilian sector has managed to pull back enough workers to cause a government shortage. Rad treatment 3 is done. Radiation cleansing will be done next turn. Anti-rad 3 will be done in 5 turns. Rad cleansing 1 is a turn. So no real delays here. Okay, good to see no delays. Okay, here in Austerlitz, I am going to do something that I frequently don't have to do because I frequently don't have really high government wages. We're going to call up the sector commander.
Standing by.
We're going to do zone orders, and we're going to do a wage down. I'm going to go down to 12. I'm going to be conservative here.
Order acknowledged.
And you can see even a conservative, like, drop it by 2 has dropped the opinion of the zone by, like, 23. So we're going to have to be pretty ginger as we lower wages as everything recovers. Also, we're going to have lots of angry people. I assume the zone is now working... I assume that militia house is probably actually working now. So it should be providing for militancy. It's not that number, and it's zone number, hopefully. Let's pay some money to the zone in an attempt to get some militancy. Yeah, it was saying 6 up, 5 down, 6 down. Actually, based off of that, it probably won't be enough until I get the building upgraded again, which we really can't do right now. Peripheral mining. I need to still do some peripheral mining, so we'll do the peripheral mining there. What's the mining report looking like? Oh, we got one. Oh no, Ergstone's mine that's an empty mine. Fully empty. Nothing I can do about it. Austerlitz probably needs needs it for 2 turns in a row. Ergstone's probably going to want it as well. 1,000's not going to last for very long. Though that is an accessibility 1 mine, so that mine is actually about to run empty. So let's not worry about it too much. 8,000 will hold for a while. Okay, so Austerlitz is going to need it for like 2, maybe 3 turns in a row. But it's otherwise fine. They built that mine, so that's more metal. That's probably why we're getting good metal now. We got decent metal. We have worker problems. Good old problem of not having enough workers. Right inside. Do I want to do a demineralization plant here to spread out the metal problem a little bit? Actually, let's upgrade the truck station here. And this place hasn't bunkerized any, so let's toss some bunkerization in before it gets nuked. Oh, before I forget, I've been forgetting. Lightweight alloy, 96. Yeah, we don't need to do any more like that. So we call you up. We do research because it's time to change your research. I think we're running jet engine, but we're rolling aerodynamics first. So aerodynamics plus lightweight alloys tend to affect how far your aircraft can go. So we're going to do aerodynamics, because the combo there should be a good place to re-evaluate our aircraft models for increased range. Now we got logistics optimization here, which is at 88, so we probably don't need that improved either. So let's pull up research on you. Personal armor might be worth doing before we do another frontline unit upgrade. Yeah, let's do personal armor upgrade. Personal
We'll
armor
go.
optimizations. And then replacements. Already did the replacements, apparently. Well, I either already did it or they haven't been delivered, which is a different problem and a worse problem. So I'm just going to believe I did it. Not that they haven't been delivered. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do for the turn. Unless I want to sell some more stuff off for money. We actually got a decent amount of metal, so let's go ahead and sell a bunch of metal off, get a bunch more money. That way we shouldn't have any zones suddenly taking a opinion drop due to us not being able to pay them. Should be enough money in the treasury to pay everyone. Because yeah, the -6 worker happiness from not paying them was not a great plan. But yeah, everyone otherwise is working, so we should, with rad cleansing come online soon, start seeing the radiation here begin to drop. So between that and the hazard protection, we should actually soon not have any pops complaining about the radiation in the capital, which is a good place to be. Which way we'll probably go back to bunkerizing the capital, get the capital fully bunkerized to protect the administrative functions of the capital. Looking at the time, this will probably be the last end turn of the YouTube video. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hope you've been enjoying it. We'll see how the enemy responds to all the actions we took this turn before I end the video. If you're watching Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'll pick up right where we left off after a short break. So I recommend that while I'm taking the break, that if you finished your drink, it'd be a good time to go top it up yourself. I've got a glass of water right now, but I'm probably going to go prepare a cup of tea. So it might be a slightly longer break as I'm generating a cup of tea. So it's looking like on the east border that we do have an enemy that failed to get out, so they will not receive any supplies this turn. Which at this point will probably mean that we'll successfully encircle them, and they will not escape. We are taking pretty heavy militia losses, so the militia in the east at some point will have to get some proper mainline brigades come over to assist them. Because right now we're basically trying to use raw numbers to sort of zone out the enemy logistics to win on that front, which is kind of working. And we are improving opinion with them, so there is a possibility that at some point I might just pull the good old declare peace, it confuses your enemies trick again to buy us some more time to get various operations working again. Probably end up using it to actually deploy more brigades. Because right now we just don't have enough brigades to do any war maneuver. So I'm basically having to do one tight, focused attack in the west. The east, we basically just got militia, which, other than by sheer volume of bravado, are not particularly effective at fighting the enemy. Here's the blackmailers. Again, we probably won't see anything from the blackmailers. Saw a little bit of motion from the friendlies. And if anything, if we start seeing a lot of motion from the blackmailers, that's a problem. Because we see a lot of motion from them, that's probably they've declared on us and are running rampant through our territory. So here comes all the unknowns, which is mostly, I believe, marauders and sentient aliens. And now it's our turn. We're Ergstone Imperium. And we lost a bunch of guys. Mostly, I think, that was the militia. Our non-militia units probably dealt about as good as they took. So once again, I hope you've been enjoying it. This is where I'm going to put a short break as far as YouTube is concerned. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break, and then after the end of that short break, we're going to pick up from where we left off So if you're watching on YouTube, there should be a part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I hope you take advantage of the short break to top up your drink. Catch you all in the next part. Bye for now.